I get a lot of questions every week from friends and new fans of the show Below Deck, wondering where they need to start. We've obviously had so many seasons, so many spin-offs and franchises of Below Deck. Where do we start? And, it's starting to feel like the Marvel Cinematic Universe out in Below Deck world. So it can be a little overwhelming if you're ready to start your Below Deck journey. So I thought I'd give you my tips on how I started watching the show and how I would recommend to a new viewer where to start and where to plug in. So let's get started. Number one, if you want to start chronologically, then absolutely start with season 1 of Below Deck. We have multiple franchises of it. We have Below Deck Med, Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Below Deck Adventure, and Below Deck Down Under. Am I forgetting any? Maybe. Who knows? So as you can see, there are a lot of different spin-offs of the show Below Deck and multiple seasons within each of them. Some of them are older, some of them are newer. So we're coming up on season 11 of Below Deck. So if you're wanting a nice long binge and you love the idea of watching Captain Lee, he's a great captain. It's just a great show to start from the beginning. Season 1, I'll just say, is the pilot season, so production value wasn't as nice, and the cast was but the story's still good, and it's a great way to start. If you just want to go chronologically, then here's how I recommend doing that. So start with the show Below Deck. That gives you 10 seasons to watch, so, get to it, get busy. I started with Below Deck Med. That's when I started watching the show. And I started with season 1 of Below Deck Med. That's with one season of a captain who sadly has passed away since. And, again, with the pilot season, the crew was really great. The captain wasn't the best fit. But season 2 is when Captain Sandy comes in, our only female captain on the Below Deck franchises. So, if you love some female empowerment mixed in with some great yachty drama, that's where you want to start. And I think that the crew, even starting in season 1 and season 2 of Below Deck Med, was just chef's kiss. So, big fan. I personally would recommend you start there. My favorite season of all time of any of the shows is Below Deck Med season 6. So I think that was just the most perfect cast. I love Katie. I love Malia. They're both the heads of their department. Again, strong female leadership with a female captain and female leads in both departments, interior and exterior. And I think just the whole cast, they really had some solid drama with the chef and one of the stewardesses that you just can't make up. I think when you watch some other Bravo shows, especially if you're wanting to get into the show with your spouse, I know my husband rolls his eyes at Real Housewives, so that's not the show or franchise for him. But if you want some good co-ed drama and just that feeling, if you've ever worked in hospitality or anything like that, you will know the feeling. These kids are actually working their butts off while on camera. It's not just like some of the other shows like Summer House where they're on camera, but they're just partying, on the weekends and they don't have real jobs. These people are breaking a sweat. And so you see some real drama with them, and you also see some great drama with the charter guests in the Med. It's really fun. Next up is Below Deck Sailing Yacht, and this one has really come around to be one of the best storylines and drama series of it all. They are on a sailing yacht that actually keels. So you're seeing a super yacht that can actually keel sideways like a sailboat and actually sail. So instead of the same, you might have your chief stew, chief officer or bosun, and then the interior, exterior, and then the chef on the other franchises. On Sailing Yacht, you also get to see the engineer of the boat, which is a whole nother thing. You'll notice at the beginning episodes of each season, they'll introduce a set of crew that is just shown at the very beginning of the season, and then they're never on camera, never seen again. So that's something to expect. There's definitely a few chief officers from the boat that may be working in offices aboard, but are not on the show. So there are more people working on the boat than the people that they show. Sailing Yacht is great. Captain Glenn is so funny. He actually stays in a cabin alongside one of the crew members, so he's really a man of the people. He's really funny to watch. He's very funny on his nights off when the crew goes out and he has the boat to himself. He's very entertaining. And yeah, it's just like a different, and they're much more grittier. The jobs that they're doing are a lot more hands-on on the exterior. They're a little bit more skilled on the exterior because of the intricacies of working a sailboat. So yeah, I definitely think that's a fun one to start with. They only have 4 seasons, so you could binge through that pretty quickly. And that's also a great place to start. It's very different than the other franchises, so yeah, you'll just have to see. I think the crew that tends to work on a sailing yacht is a little bit more casual and laid back, whereas you'll see people with like the white glove service and everything like that. The bougier people are on the regular super yachts. The newer franchises are going to be Below Deck Down Under and Below Deck Adventure. I'm going to spoil something for you right now. Below Deck Adventure, meh. And you know what? If you fly a lot, Below Deck Adventure is on the Southwest channel, so you can just watch it on your flight. I mean, they have 1 season. They didn't get renewed for another one. It was meh. But the idea of Below Deck Adventure is that they go up to Norway, and the concept is really cool. So they may just reinvent it a little bit and try it again some other time. But anyways, Below Deck Down Under is where it's at. Below Deck Down Under is off of Australia. It's got Captain Jason, so if you're looking for a gorgeous captain, that's going to be your spot. It's also got Aisha. If you start out watching the shows on Below Deck Med, she actually came over from seasons 3 and 4, I think. 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. I'm sure one of y'all will help me out in the comments below if I got that wrong. But yeah, she's in maybe 4 and 5 of Below Deck Med, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyways, she is now the chief stew on Below Deck Down Under. Her and Captain Jason are hilarious. Everyone loves Captain Jason. And the sights, I will tell you, like the filming, everything for Below Deck Down Under is just gorgeous. So if you've got that little wanderlust travel bug in you, this show's really gonna just quench that thirst. The nice thing about Below Deck is that it's literally almost always on TV. So there's never a time like how most shows have 1 season a year and then you just have to wait a full year till the next season. You are typically having a different season throughout the year. So at the beginning of the year is the end of Below Deck Med season, goes straight into the beginning of Below Deck season, and right when that wraps up, starts Below Deck Sailing Yacht season, which carries you into Below Deck Down Under and finishes up the year with Below Deck Med. So it really just cycles throughout the year, and ultimately it's a new crew every season, so you can just jump around. If you don't like the season from the start, if there's someone who's like boring or terrible, or they're just terrible at their job, likely they won't last that long on the season. So don't let one crew member, deter you from a whole season, because they may get fired and you may enjoy watching that. But if you want to jump around to different seasons, usually the captain and maybe one other member of the crew, sometimes none of them from the previous season, will be back that next season. So you do have a few of the stars who carry over. You have a few chief stews and a few bosuns that make it season after season for maybe 4 or 5 seasons at a time. But it really keeps things fresh. New crew, new people, new drama, new work dynamics, new guests throughout every season. So yeah, if you don't like a season, don't be afraid to just skip to the next one, because there's enough seasons to go around. Well, that's my scoop on how to get into Below Deck and start your Below Deck journey. Let me know where you're starting out, and let me know what you think so far of the show if you just got started. Thanks. Bye.